Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be talking about what you need to know before buying your first property. So the first thing we need you guys to do is understand why you're even buying this property. So for me, when I was buying my first property, I knew that I wanted to get into real estate. I knew that this first property that I was buying was going to be an investment property. So for you guys, I just want you to understand, is this going to be a personal home that you're purchasing so you can live in this property? Or is this going to be an investment property, your first investment property that you're looking to either flip or execute the burst strategy? All right, so with this first property, if it's going to be a personal home, it's important that you guys understand what's called a FHA. A FHA is the first time home buyer loan, which allows you to put down 3.5% on this first property. Now, you can only use a FHA on one home, and it has to be the home that you actually live in. So this is an opportunity for you guys to even try and implement the house hacking strategy, which is where you would live in one unit and rent out the rest of the property. So with this strategy, you will be looking for duplexes, triplexes, and even quads, because they all fit within the FHA guideline. Next is, if this was just be an investment property, then there's other sorts of financing out there that you guys could use. There's hard money, there's private money, and you could also still use bank financing. Now, the next thing that I want you guys to know when looking for your first property is understanding your credit score. What exactly is a credit score? A credit score is a number given to a person which ranges between 300 to 850, and with your credit score, this determines your credit worthiness, meaning when lenders look at your credit score, they know if you're able to pay this loan back or not. All right, so now with this credit score, this would then set you up to then get what? A pre-approval. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is get a pre-approval from a lender, so that way we know exactly how much we can spend in the market. This will tell us our buying power. So now when you're looking for that first home, you're not on the market looking at homes that you can't afford. You might go out there and look at the home for $500,000 because it's really nice, or the $1 million home because that's also really nice. But if you're not pre-approved for those homes, then you'll be wasting your time, and you'll also be wasting your realtor's time. So it's important that we get our pre-approval before we go out there on the market, so that we know exactly how much we can afford. The next thing I want you guys to do is put together a budget. Now, when putting together a budget, you may be asking, what exactly budget do we need? So when you're going out and you're looking at your homes, it's important that you bring also with you a general contractor or somebody who knows a little bit about construction, just in case you're buying a property that needs some renovation. Because when we're doing our investment properties, typically the properties that we do go after do need some level of renovation. So you want to go with a contractor, or what's also called a general contractor, who is a GC, a licensed contractor, who will basically do the renovations on the home for you. Now, the reasons why we bring our GC with us is because they have an eye for construction, and they'll be able to see and identify issues or potential issues with the property that you may not be able to call out. So they may be able to see maybe a leak in the roof, a leak in the ceiling that needs to be repaired. They may be able to identify some structural issues. In case you want to upgrade the bathroom or upgrade a kitchen or change the face of the property, then this is the reason why we want to bring our contractors with us, because they will be the ones who can identify this and give us numbers that will help us create our budget and understand exactly how much renovation we need to do to this property. The next thing you want to do is start saving for your down payment. It's very important that you save for this down payment. Also, depending on what loan that you actually go for and the required down payment that they let you know that you need to bring, it's important that you start saving. And this is something as simple as saving at least 10% of your actual income that you make right now. So it's important that we have some type of income coming in. It's important that we have some type of paper trail. Paper trail is W-2s, tax returns. These are things that are required from a lender or a bank in order to approve you for this loan. Now, as we're making our money, as we're currently working, as we're going out there looking at homes, as we're going out there getting contractors, it's important that during this entire time, even before we start our search, that we're saving our money, because you guys are going to need to put down a down payment, and you want to make sure that you're prepared for that step. The next thing that we want to do is we want to hire a realtor. All right, so it's important that while we're out there on the market looking at properties, that we're working with the realtor, because the realtor is going to be the one that can get you access to actually tour the home in case you're looking at homes on days where open houses won't be held. So it's important to get the realtor that will open up the doors, give you the lock boxes. Also, an investor-friendly realtor if this first home that you're buying is an investment property. And the reason why we want to work with investor-friendly realtors, is because they will already understand the market, know the market. They may be already working with other investors in this particular area, so they know what direction they want to point you in when it comes down to this first property. They'll also be able to help you understand a level of appreciation that goes on in this area, because they have been working in the area for years and working with other investors, and they see the equity and appreciation that they capture when they're buying their investment properties. Now, the next thing that we need you guys to understand is when you're out there on the market looking for your first property, we want to make sure that we go on multiple house tours where we see multiple properties and not jump on the first one, because you just may be missing an opportunity for the property that would give you the returns that you're looking for, or give you that cash flow that you're looking for, or it could be the best first home for you to actually live in. So it's important that we don't just jump on the first opportunity that we see in front of us, that we do take multiple tours, we go see multiple properties, and we try to identify the best deal possible. Now, after going on multiple tours and identifying several different properties that meet your criteria, now it's time to narrow down the list and pick out that one property that you definitely want to go ahead and move forward with and make your offer. Now, when you make an offer, it depends on where you're at in the market and how competitive your market is. You may want to go slightly above asking if this is a challenging market where properties are quickly flying off the shelf. But if it's a buyer's market and you have the opportunity to negotiate and even get a better price, maybe this property has been sitting on the market for 2 months, 3 months, or even 6 months. Typically, if a property is sitting on the market for that long of a period of time, then it's most likely overpriced. Now, if it's overpriced, that's where you want to go ahead and make an offer where the property should actually sell for. Once we make an offer and our property's under contract, now you want to go ahead and hire a home inspector to do a home inspection on this property. It's very important that you hire a licensed home inspector that can do a walkthrough of the property and tell you guys exactly what's wrong with this property. Again, this licensed home inspector will be able to see and identify potential problems with the property that you may not be able to see and identify. So if there's structural issues, or if the property has termites, or if the property has a potential electrical issue that you may not foresee because you're not a licensed electrician, then this is the reason why we want to bring out our home inspectors who are licensed and who could tell us exactly what's wrong with the property, because this also gives you negotiation power. I remember when I was buying a property, and I'm very thankful that I got a home inspection, because I got that home inspection, I was able to see that there were some structural issues with this property, that in the rear the foundation had a little give in it, and we would need to bring out an engineer to repair, to basically give us an engineer report and bring out our masonry guy to actually repair the foundation. But if I did not bring a home inspector with me to this tour to review this property, we would not have been able to identify this problem. So trust me guys, there's a lot of value in bringing a home inspector into a property to do an actual tour with you. Once this home inspection is complete, you would then receive what's called a home inspection report. This is what you need in order to start the negotiation. Now that you are agreed, you have a set price, there may be some things on that list that are very hazardous, or that are mandatory things that should be done before you move forward with actually buying this property. So this is an opportunity for you to negotiate down on the price, or have the seller give you some credits on this actual property because of these things that were identified on your home inspection report. As you guys are getting prepared to go ahead and move on to settlement, you want to make sure that you do your final walkthrough. Final walkthrough meaning that the property is in the same condition or better based on the repairs that you and the seller agreed upon, are actually in the property, the repairs are done, or no additional damages were done, the property wasn't vandalized during the time that you're waiting to go to settlement. You want to make sure that you do a final walkthrough. If the agreement was that the seller was going to paint the entire property, you want to make sure that the paint was done. If they were going to repair or upgrade the floors, you want to make sure that those repairs and those upgrades are done prior to you going to settlement. So it's very important that you do a final walkthrough. And last but not least, finally you guys have made it to closing. Congratulations, you'll be buying your first property. Now this first property is either one that you're going to live in, that you did all your research and make sure you identified the right property, or this is actually going to be your very first flip. Congratulations, it's off to the races for you. All right, so those are all the steps and tips that we need you guys to know and understand before buying your first property. Again, Patrick Jeune, the millennial real estate investor, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. Let's go.